This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Liquid IV. The 2024 Olympics are almost here, and with the Summer Games nearly in full swing, it's a reminder that hydration is important for athletes and fans, and Liquid IV offers extraordinary hydration for physical endurance, mental clarity, and overall well-being.
A single stick of Liquid IV delivers better hydration than water alone with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink plus 8 vitamins and nutrients, making it the perfect companion for all your summertime activities, whether you're hitting the golf course, traveling, or if you're looking to recover after a long day.
So tear, pour, and live more and turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code RAW at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code RAW at liquidiv.com. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. We've got a packed episode today. We're talking NXT Heatwave. Here we go. It's Heatwave, sorry. Heatwave. Hot heat. Get confused sometimes. So we got Heatwave coming up. We're going to talk about this past Friday Smackdown, and I watched a whole lot of AEW. So we're going to talk about some AEW as well, because of course every time we're saying, hey, you know what, it's the 4th of July, we're going to take 4th of July off. And then what happens? Dynamite drops a fairly significant episode with bad MJF. Basically having come back, and then he explained why he's bad now on Collision. We're going to talk about that stuff. We're going to talk about the Owen Cup. Owen. But first, we've got ourselves a brand new NXT champion, Ego. All ego, Ethan Page, thanks to NXT Heatwave. A lot of people really, really loved this show. I've seen the sentiment out there, better than Money in the Bank. The thing that I love about it is that it was just a lot different than Money in the Bank. A lot of terrific matches, lots of cool shit going on. What do you think? We got ourselves a new NXT champion, Larson.
Well, I mean, going back to the conversation regarding what was best wrestling show of weekend, at least under the WWE umbrella, was it Heatwave? Was it Money in the Bank? If you're looking for pure in-ring action, you got to go with Heatwave.
Definitely.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
It was very reminiscent in a lot of respects of peak NXT takeover era in terms of the quality of the in-ring work. And it's not to say it was just all wrestle. There was story beats throughout. Each match was informed by a story. And after the conclusion of the show, when Ethan Page became the new NXT champion in somewhat accidental fashion, you're sitting there thinking, what's next? Then you get Joe Hendry show up on your screen, and you think, oh, the future is bright if Joe Hendry is coming back to NXT in a more significant role. It was like a 2.5 hour, just fantastic wrestling program. In my estimation, easily the best show of the weekend, though I must admit I didn't watch Collision save for MJF's promo, so I don't know if that's in competition to be best show of the weekend. Steve, that's something maybe you could speak on.
Yeah, I'd give it to Heatwave. Collision had some cool shit going on. The match between Hangman, Adam Page, and Jay White was terrific with a wonderfully overbooked finish. That was a lot of fun. But getting back to Heatwave, yeah, I don't think there was not a dud on the card. This was awesome. And I'll be honest with you, man, like for the first time in a long time, the way they have successfully built these wrestlers in NXT, I am really excited to see. I kind of feel like they did, or they've done to a degree since the draft, Carmelo a bit of a disservice. They haven't really featured him or sort of rolled him out, if you will, in a way that screams like, hey, I'm significant. I'm a real threat here. He was, in our estimation, one of the MVPs of the men's Money in the Bank match.
Absolutely.
But when I think of big NXT call-ups, I was like, oh, wow, they drafted him, number 1. That's awesome. But since then, like, it's sort of, his run has kind of not been all that overwhelming. When I look at what they got going on right now in NXT, sort of the post-Carmelo class, man, the idea of Obafemi showing up on main roster gives me like Keith Lee vibes. Remember when Keith Lee was in NXT and Brock put him over, not put him over verbally. I was like, wow, you're great. Didn't actually, but like,
had that great bit with Roman Reigns at a Survivor Series match. Yeah,
absolutely. And so it really made you think, wow, these guys and women, they're going to make a really big impact when they get to main roster. And that transition between, when 2.0 showed up, it was like, man, there's a lot of work to be done here, but they've put in the work. That Obafemi Wes Lee match was so much fun. And then when you think of the star power of Trick, and now he's going to be back on the chase against Ethan Page, and I think Trick's going to be in NXT for a little while longer because they got this big CW deal coming up, and they want that to be as loaded as possible. But he's a terrific face of the brand, and once he gets called up, that's going to be a significant moment as well. And it does give you, okay, well, now that, Triple H is in charge, we all know what he sort of wanted for those call-ups back in the day and only got in a couple situations. Kevin Owens stands out, maybe Sammy, Finn Balor stand out. Sure.
Yeah.
And now, thanks in large part to, these NXT premium live events where you got these, awesome crowds, and these really efficiently told, premium live events, 2.5 hours, man, I think that they've really got that buzz back, and you've got something special again with NXT, and it's been this build, and it's like, yeah, there's some really good stuff going on there.
Yeah, and it's a pretty basic formula for how they're doing things. You get some well-established characters. You turn on the show, if you've never seen NXT before, you know exactly who these characters are based on their first appearance on the show, basically, You get them involved in some interesting stories, and especially at these premium live events, put on awesome matches. Let's say you don't get good matches on NXT TV, but they really kick it up a notch when it comes to these premium live events, especially with this Heatwave one. You're right, no duds on the show, top to bottom, just stellar match after stellar match. I guess we can start with from the top. You mentioned Obafemi, Wes Lee.
Let's talk about this really quick before we get right into it. One of the sentiments I saw on Twitter was in reference to the Saul RUCA KELANI Jordan match. And what I saw in this particular tweet was, it said something, and I apologize for not sourcing it, but somebody basically said, this is why, one of the reasons why WWE made a smart move in transitioning. I think it's great, to bring over huge talent from overseas, but don't ignore college athletes. And you see people like KELANI Jordan and Saul RUCA, and for every one of them, there's like probably 50 who, who had like a tryout and couldn't, pass muster. But with KELANI Jordan and Saul RUCA, you see two athletes who in like every category have taken to pro wrestling frighteningly fast and have been able to put on a match of that caliber and also have a unique look, the camera charisma. I'm not going to say that their characters, they're 100,000%, but they'll get there. That's a matter of time and comfortability. And it really has validated, this whole, hey, let's really focus on a real two-pronged approach. Let's take a look at the college stuff, and let's take a look at what's going on, in the pro wrestling world outside of WWE.
Well, looking at the match card here for Heatwave, Jasmine Nix, Obafemi, KELANI Jordan, Saul RUCA, Trick Williams, all collegiate athletes. I mean, that's right there. Did you mention
Obafemi?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. God, what a lineup!
I know.
That's. There's a lot of main roster talent right there, man.
I know.
There's a lot of like really solid over talent right there, and you got these stories in place now. Yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches.
And it seems like their approach when it comes to new classes at the Performance Center is, and Shawn Michaels mentioned this, is like if you got personality, and I would imagine some measure of athletic talent, they feel like they could teach you the wrestling part of it.
Yeah.
Camera charisma, personality, that's stuff that, in theory, tough to teach. If you can teach it at all, some of that's just innate, You
just have it or you don't.
You have it or you don't. So there's been probably numerous people signed by WWE who had, the athleticism necessary to be pro wrestlers, but didn't have the personality.
Well, I mean, there's also the matter of, you can, to a degree, you can teach people pro wrestling. You could teach people moves, but there's probably been plumbing. I mean, that's sort of what the knock on Gable Steveson was, that he just wasn't taken to it. Yeah. I honestly didn't see much of anything. Like whenever he was on camera, I was like, he does not have the charisma. No. But I understood that he had the, and I'm not even talking about the the allegation stuff. I mean, that was enough of a disqualifier for me when you really get into it.
Same.
But even if you take that stuff away, I see more in his brother Damon Kemp than I ever did in Gable
because
Steveson.
He's able to project a personality on screen. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And so even if you have the athletic ability, understanding what pro wrestling is from a wrestling standpoint, from a psychology standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, like that can also be intuitive as opposed to like, okay, I'm going to teach you this. Some people are going to pick it up.
Yeah.
And some people aren't, even if they're as athletic as can be. And that's why they have all these people do these tryouts, because and then they do the cuts. If you're not ready within a certain amount of time, I think they just figure you're not going to be ready because you either pick it up or you don't. There's too much competition, and you are going to have people who just take to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I often give criticism to the character of Tony D because I don't understand what his character is supposed to be. But in terms of understanding pro wrestling, clearly the guy understands and took to it very quickly.
Yeah.
So credit to the system there at WWE. Somebody here mentioned in our Twitch chat, it goes back to Bianca Belair. And it would not surprise me if Bianca was sort of like, the template for the modern day approach to that. Didn't do wrestling prior and came in. And I mean, clearly, obviously, charisma off the charts. But also just took to the professional wrestling aspect of it incredibly fast.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, let's jump into it. Opening match for the North American title. Oba Femi defending against Wes Lee. Of course, if Wes loses, he can't challenge Oba Femi for that North American title ever again. Guess what? Wes Lee can't challenge that North American title ever again.
Nope.
Oba Femi is still champion.
Man, this was just, Wes started out trying to chop the big man down. That did not last very long because Oba Femi just started throwing him everywhere. They did this great super F5 spot where he just launched Wes up into the stratosphere, came crashing down. Eventually they gave Wes Lee a couple of hope spots, but in the end, Oba Femi got the win. I think it's like a big power bomb that he got.
Yeah, it was a really well booked kind of underdog match in the sense that Wes Lee obviously not anywhere close to the same size as Oba Femi. And he had to fight from underneath for the entirety of the match. And it was booked really well where he gets beat up a lot, has some hope spots. Oba Femi's able to withstand that. And, you get that a few times back and forth. You get Wes Lee's final rush to try to secure the win. Nope. When he hits that corkscrew splash off the top, and Oba kicks out and just grabs by the throat. That was kind of it then.
What's the next step for Wes Lee?
I don't know. There's a promo during the show where he's pretty distraught over losing. He prized that North American title so much. It took so much pride in being North American champion. That
he was the good dude. Come on. He was the greatest North American champion of all time.
He's definitely one of the greatest of all time.
I think he's probably number one.
You think he's number one?
Yeah.
I mean, Oba Femi might have something to say about that at this point.
Now.
So I don't know. Does he set his sights now on the world title? Now that a heel has it?
That's a crowded ass scene.
It is a really crowded scene. It is a really crowded scene, but I think that's good. You want a lot of people gunning for the champ.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, who do you think is going to take that thing off of Paige? It's got to be Trick, right?
Oh, ultimately Trick again, yeah. Yeah.
First episode of the CW.
Probably. Good match. Next up, we had KELANI Jordan defending her North American title against, say it with me, Steve, RUCA. So I saw a lot of comparisons of this match to Ospreay versus Ricochet. I think it was Best of Super Juniors 2016, I want to say. And I even saw a side-by-side on Twitter right before we started of the opening sequences of both match, and they're pretty darn similar.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And to pull off those feats of athleticism, especially when I think RUCA and KELANI have only been wrestling for about a year or two,
yeah, dude,
is
seriously.
impressive.
That's crazy. Yeah,
it is crazy. And to see the crazy stuff that RUCA, that 450 springboard lariat she did, never seen anything like that.
Yeah,
in the wrestling ring before.
Yeah, that was, boy, there was a lot of good stuff there. There was so much good stuff there. I haven't seen. I'll take a look at that side by side, but I love when wrestlers pull out the homage. You know?
Definitely.
Isn't that great? That's awesome. I love that stuff. Yeah, dude. This match was crazy. It was awesome. The athleticism, the creativity. Yeah, just really, really awesome stuff here.
Yeah, KELANI gets the win after hitting Poison Rana off the top rope,
which was great.
It was crazy. And then the split-legged moonsault. No North American title reign yet for RUCA.
RUCA. Yeah. I'm sure she's probably just going to get split off. It wouldn't shock me on Tuesday if, like, even KELANI suggested, hey, let's run this back. But then Sol ends up getting split off into a feud with somebody else instead. Mm-hmm. But yeah, eventually Sol RUCA's she's gonna get gold in WWE, man.
Yeah, I think so. Next, maybe my match of the night for Heatwave tag match. But you got Axiom and Nathan Frazier, tag champs, taking on Chase U. And I enjoyed the bit where they said that Nathan Frazier didn't even show up till like an hour or two before the show started, so Axiom thought it was going to be a 2-on-1 match. And I like the story be that early on when Axiom is in the ring, he got the upper hand whenever he tagged in Frazier. Frazier would lose it. He'd lose the advantage.
Yeah,
until he got his head right.
Yeah, I understand the pull. I understand the desire, for solo accomplishments. But at the end of the day, Nathan Frazier understood where his bread was buttered and stuck it for the moment. Yeah, you never know. Things change every day, Larson.
All right. I like that was directed towards me.
No, well, yeah, because we're having a conversation right now.
Axiom and Frazier retain. Axiom hits Andre Chase with the golden ratio to get the win. But just the crowd was so into it. So many great near falls.
Andre Chase breaking up that pin with a Canadian Destroyer was great.
That was crazy.
That was awesome. Crazy. That was so cool.
Crazy. Fantastic match. After that was, I believe it was Roxanne Perez defending against Lola Vice.
Ooh, before we get to that match, though, and before we get to that crazy pop rocks on the announce table, oh my dunk. Oh, man. Would you like to go ahead and pay some bills? What do you say?
Let's do it. Let's take a break here. Get a word from our sponsor, Liquid IV. The Summer Olympics are nearly here, Steve. I'm going to have two things in my mind while I watch Team USA basketball team. One, what do we got to do to make the team in 2028?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Two, hydration is key for world-class athletes and those of us watching at home.
Yeah, that's right, man. I've been thinking about that too. And while I think we're probably long shots, maybe not, to make the U.S. hoops team in 4 years, we can get a gold medal for hydration for our one-on-one basketball games with Liquid IV. A single stick of Liquid IV delivers better hydration than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients. And while Liquid IV is awesome for our one-on-one contests, it's also great for mental clarity and overall well-being.
And honestly, Liquid IV is an essential part of our semi-weekly hoop games. I don't think we could play 2+ hours of basketball in this Northern California heat without drinking Liquid IV. It's supposed to be 112 degrees on Thursday. Anyways, in fact, over the last week or so, I've used Liquid IV to stay hydrated while I was out camping. And while I was barbecuing and chilling poolside on the 4th of July, Liquid IV is the ideal companion for all your summertime activities, whether you're traveling, working out, or hitting the golf course.
That's right. So tear, pour, and live more with America's #1 powdered hydration brand, and turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code RAW at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code RAW at Liquid IV. So besides Liquid IV, Larson, what are you going to do to avenge yourself after last Friday's debacle?
Well, I mean, like, I woke up 45 minutes before we started playing, so I'm sure that if I do some, wake up a little earlier, play later in the day, that'll benefit me.
So much of it depends on like your own, like how you feeling, what you do.
I know, like I was feeling a little beat up from working out, so I'm trying to take it a little bit lighter this week. So all those things, I think, in unison, will lead to a more successful day on the courts.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
I hope so.
Want some competition.
Speaking of someone who has a successful day, ROXANNE PEREZ. ROXANNE successfully defended her NXT Women's title against LOLA Vice in another really good match. It took, 4 pop rocks for ROXANNE to finally beat LOLA? And it was the story beat where Lola's looking for the back fist on the floor. ROXANNE ducks. And so Lola back fists the ring post and really couldn't effectively go to that for the rest of the match. Great. The way ROXANNE continued to work the arm, great. And commentary mentioned it, and very soon after, Lola started employing kicks rather than strikes to try to get back in the match. Another really fun match, and that pop rocks on the announce table, that was crazy.
Yeah, no, I thought it was awesome. I mean, the great thing about NXT is that, like, there are any number of potential challengers for ROXANNE. You can go to the heels or the faces. You can go either one, really, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what's next for her. But I think that run is going to be pretty dominant. I assume, if the reports are true and they want to bring Julia in to NXT, that's going to be the person that takes that title off of ROXANNE. That makes probably the most sense. But again, they can wait until October to do that match in the first episode of NXT on CW.
It's all title changes for that first episode.
Yeah, man. Night of Champions.
Except the tag titles. I want AXIOM and Nathan Frazier to hold those for the end of the year, so at least get that one prediction right.
So Heatwave was originally an ECW pay-per-view. What other ECW pay-per... Do you think, let me ask you something, do you think that trademark filing for New Blood Rising will be the first episode of the CW?
Oh, it could be. It could be,
huh?
It could be. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of the WCW trademarks are for use for either special NXT episodes or premium live events.
Because they've got the, I think that too, they've got the, as much as I would love for them to bring back WCW. Could you imagine
how it fits?
What's that?
I just don't know how it fit into what they're doing now.
Oh, dude, just another brand. Just this is what they could do. This is kind of easy here.
Redub, level up, WCW.
No. You just do another brand. you just do more.
There's already arguably too much programming, Steve.
That's not a problem, though. For who? For who?
People who watch their stuff. Oversaturation.
Yeah, but they're hot.
Yeah.
And it's good. The product
how
is
that worked
good.
out for WCW once they added Thunder.
Oh, well, that's different. That's different. I mean, you can look at AEW, but right now you've got Raw, really good. SmackDown, really good. Look, I'm not even advocating this but I'm playing devil's advocate here. You got Raw, really good. SmackDown, really good. NXT, hot.
Speed. Nobody watches it.
Speed. I think Speed gets good numbers on Twitter. I think he gets good
matches.
Numbers. What's that?
So the 3-minute matches, I guess, is easily digestible. You can work that into your schedule.
So, well, Andrade, some of his matches like 45 seconds. You don't even have to sit there the entire 3 minutes. That's just the time limit.
But how come he can't win matches on Raw in 45 seconds then?
He could, but he's focused on he's focused on the Speed title. He's like, oh, if I get involved in this Raw stuff, I'm not good for that. But now think about it. Look, they're heading to Netflix, right? So what if they bring back WCW. Here's one thing. They've got way too many wrestlers. And more on the way.
They do a pretty good job of utilizing people.
They do, but how long is that going to last? This is actually a legit issue. They've got so much legit talent on the way up. You add everybody we just talked about in a year, main roster is going to be overloaded. No. You offload some to WCW, make LA Knight the world champion there.
Oh, Lord.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Tell me that doesn't make sense.
I'm telling you. I told you the other day that if they bring back WCW, it should be the crossover promotion between NXT and TNA.
No, nobody needs that. They're not going to buy TNA. They have WCW now.
I didn't say they were going to buy TNA. I said it was going to be the crossover promotion.
Well, they could just poach. They could just poach from TNA and bring him over to WCW. Josh Alexander, first WCW champion.
Fine, there you go.
You put WCW on Wednesday nights on Netflix. Do you know why?
Because Dynamite's on Wednesday nights, yes.
Yeah, and Netflix doesn't release their numbers. Yeah. So they could just claim every week that they won the ratings war.
Victory.
Yeah, they could be like, oh yeah, no, we had 1 million people watching on Netflix, most ever. And then Dynamite's like sitting there with their 680. I'm like, oh man, wow, we got to work better.
Well, then Dynamite should go over to Max, and Max doesn't release their numbers either. 2 million. Dynamite averaging 2 million viewers. Show us numbers. We don't have to.
Dude, this is the one thing though. Like WCW still has incredibly strong name value. They've got people are still giving a shit about who killed that stupid company. You know?
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
So it's got strong name value. You got like Nash out there. He ain't doing nothing. Got Bischoff out there. He said he loves pro wrestling. Bring him back. Bring Raven out of MLW. Man, I'm telling you, it could work. It's so crazy. It could work.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's too much programming. Let's talk about this main event. Trick Williams defending against Shawn Spears. All ego, Ethan Page. Do you want to sing the theme there, Steve?
Ego.
Still not into it. And then Javon Evans. An awesome sprint of a 4-way main event. Action that never let up. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the finish, though, because you said that Ethan was going to win by pinning Javon Evans, but I don't know if you thought it was going to happen the way it did, which is essentially Trick's in there. He hits a knee on Shawn Spears. That sent Spears into Evans, knocks Evans to the floor. Sorry, no, knocks Evans down. And then he follows that by hitting Page with a jumping knee. Page falls on top of Javon Evans. And then before Trick can try to break up the pin, Shawn Spears grabs Trick by the foot and trips him up just out of reach to break up the pin. So Ethan Page, who's basically knocked out, becomes a new NXT champion. A lot of people I saw on social media mentioned that it's a finish reminiscent of Backlash 2007, a match that Shawn Michaels was in.
Oh. Was it Sweet Chin music in that case?
On Cena, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cena fell into the pin, yeah.
Yeah, I loved the two trick shots. There was the one that took out Javon and Spears.
Yeah.
And then there was the second one. Like he was just, they were like lined up, like we talked about last time.
Yeah.
No, that was not my. I was not clever enough to understand that they were just going to have him trick shot everybody and then he'd lose. But Javon Evans getting pinned by Ethan Page, I called. Yeah, I thought it was an incredibly clever finish. I thought it'll be interesting to hear from Shawn Spears. Like, what did he think was happening in this situation? Because he looked pretty devastated at the end when he was like, man, I'm like, this could have worked for you. You could have he could have broken up the pin, but you're an idiot. No, I thought it was incredibly clever. I thought it made all the sense in the world for Page to get that title. He's a big signing for NXT, and NXT hasn't built up a lot of big opponents for him. Big opponents now for Trick if he were to retain. But there's all sorts of intrigue now with Page and having that title. So yeah, I think that I suspect Trick is probably going to get sidelined into a rivalry with Spears because he's got to get. Because I don't think Spears obviously has that fluke win over him.
Yeah,
I don't think Trick and Spears had a one-on-one match.
Other than that one, no.
Okay, yeah, right. Like where Trick had already won, so he's got to get his win back from Spears. You could do a Javon Evans Page series in the meantime.
I think that would be next for Ethan because Javon won the Battle Royal, and yet he didn't get a one-on-one title shot. And Trick versus Spears makes a lot of sense as well. It's going to be interesting to see what the dynamic is between Trick and Javon Evans going forward, too. Of course, there's that one spot where Trick knocks Javon off the apron onto the announce table.
Rough spot.
It was a rough spot, and Trick's attitude was, "That's what I got to do to retain my title."
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah, their dynamic might be altered given what happened in that match.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out on TV. Because one thing NXT does really well is something that carried over from NXT UK is you get well-established characters, and you pit them against each other, and the tensions that naturally arise from those character clashes. That's what always works well in NXT. It worked well in NXT UK, and it could be a feud over the most trivial thing, all the way up to the world title and beyond. But at its essence, that seems like Shawn Michaels' approach to his booking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, there's like I said, there's a lot of possibilities going forward. It feels like they're going to just sort of establish Obafemi as in the same way that they did with, was Keith Lee? Yeah, Keith Lee took that. Keith Lee was double champ after taking it from Adam Cole, and then he got called up. And it seems like they're going this same route. How it's just like Keith Lee will be Obafemi will be dominant North American champion, on par with the world champion, and then eventually they'll probably, he'll end up, I don't know, maybe they'll do a thing with him and Trick before Trick's call up, 6 months after the CW thing. I don't know. Let's see, that's going to be in October, I think.
Yeah, October 1st, I believe.
October 1st. Okay, that's not that far away.
No, it's 3 months.
And then you can get, if Trick goes up after WrestleMania, then you could do that match then. Maybe stand and deliver.
Stand deliver, yeah. The Obafemi versus Trick, title for title.
I could see that. I could see that being a possibility. Yeah.
By that point, Obafemi would be North American champion more than a year then.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. Before we get into the other events of the weekend, got a couple super chats, and Stefan Elmgard Anderson here became a new Channel Club member right here on the YouTube. Welcome to the Friendo Club.
Welcome.
I got a super chat from Deathronic78. Says, when Drew cashed in at Money in the Bank, it became a three-way. When Punk interfered, isn't that a DQ? Larson, what's the answer on that?
No DQs in a triple threat match.
That is correct. Yeah. And so, I mentioned Stefan here became a Channel Club member. And so Stefan's going to get access. This week, we're going to film one last Friendocast. And hopefully we're going to film, or starting next week, we're going to do the first batch of our new watch-alongs, our match watch-alongs, because I think that'd be kind of fun. Just sort of mixing it up. Bonus content for the Friendos, for the Friendo Club setup. We'll probably do one batch, and then we'll maybe leave it open for a vote for the Friendo Clubs.
Yeah.
For the Friendo Club members.
Whether people
which
like
matches
the
you guys
Friendo
want us
cast.
to look at.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. So you get bonus episodes with the Friendo Club setup. You also got access to the Big Blue Predictions Challenge. Who is it? Jerry in the Bank.
Yes.
Appropriately won Money in the Bank with 42 points in the latest Predictions Challenge. A lot more Friendos this time than last Money in the Bank challenge. So now Jerry in the Bank has the opportunity to cash in after any predictions challenge to try to get that Big Blue Predictions Championship.
Correct.
So, Jerry, you've got the power's in your hand. So you better make sure that you are around and you are putting yourself in these predictions challenges so you can cash in if you want.
Exactly. We got to decide the exact protocol and the pieces of paper inside the briefcase.
Yeah, the actual cash in proviso.
Also, if you're watching live or VOD on the YouTube, if you could, hit that subscribe button, hit that notify bell so you're subscribed, notified. When all our new content goes up, you got at least 5 podcasts every single week. Also, while you're pressing buttons, it takes less than a second. hit that thumbs up button, the like button. It's great for the show. It's great for the channel, for the algorithm stuff. Plus, it's great for us because we crave validation. Please smash that like button. Let's get, we got over 500, nearly 600 people watching now. Let's see if we can get over, I don't know, 250 likes before the show is over.
Yeah, come on, let's get there. Let's get there. Let's
really should be an automatic. You press play, you get to this page, like button, hit it.
I'll be honest with you, this landing page was up last night. So like you guys, when there's like a, the scheduled live stream going, you can get over there and you can hit that like button right
before
now.
the stream even starts.
Before the stream even starts. Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Exactly. All right. You want to talk SmackDown. So I know a lot of SmackDown informed what happened at Money in the Bank. So we don't have to get too deep into it, but we got new tag champs.
We are.
You were just waiting for that moment, weren't you?
New WWE Tag Champs.
Doesn't quite work, but all right. Defeating A-Town Down.
A-Town Down.
I mean, Gargano, John, done a pretty good job of driving a wedge between Waller and Theory. Waller hasn't necessarily helped himself by constantly putting Theory in harm's way to save himself.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think, obviously, this is going to accelerate the breakup of A-Town Down Under. Probably face turn for Austin Theory. And it's going to be curious to see how much interaction there is between him and Gargano going forward, whether they're going to make any attempts to try to reconstitute. It'd be interesting. DIY tag champs. And Gargano starts hanging out with Theory again.
Mm-hmm.
Ciampa's like, well, I'm your tag partner.
Oh.
Maybe that can be the thing that really gets the DIY breakup going down the line. I'm not talking like in 3 weeks, but months down the line. And then we get to revisit that feud on main roster.
I do think that there's a lot that can still, that they've really, I mean, even at this point, they've really just scratched the surface on in terms of referencing their history and their past and all that. I mean, these Gargano and Ciampa were in a straight up blood feud.
Yeah.
So, yeah, something similar. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like Theory, Waller made a decent point. He was like, once you broke away from Gargano, you won United States Championship, you won Money in the Bank, you're doing all right. Now we're tag champions. And yeah, Waller's a piece of crap, but he made a good point. And I wonder if Theory's going to go kind of the opposite direction. Like if he's going to target, they'll have like kind of a singles thing between Theory and Gargano while he's tag team champion, which kind of makes sense because they do not treat the tag team division with any amount. I mean, this was on a SmackDown with much interest or much attention to detail.
I will say that by giving that match the main event spot and really emphasizing the importance of the city of Toronto to DIY's story.
Oh, I thought that was cool. Yeah.
It did a good job of elevating the match.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I do like when you have title changes on regular TV. I really do like that. And over the past month or so, they've done a much better job with this feud in particular because they have referenced the history between Gargano and Theory. But beyond that, like, the tag division has really not been all that stellar in terms of how they've booked it.
Has.
But yeah, I feel like Theory's going to be on a bit of a warpath now, targeting Gargano because essentially he manipulated him. You can't wait. I'm supposed to take you for your word that it wasn't your planning that got me super kicked and dropped with a knee last week. I know you say it was meant for Waller, but how do I know that? You guys are the tag champions now. I'm not. Like when I was with you, I was a henchman. And once I left, look at me. I had Money in the Bank. I was United States champion, and now I was tag champion. You took that away from me too. And so, no, I don't know. I feel like there could be some interesting stuff. I just don't know how that interesting stuff really works in the tag division unless Waller is back with Theory. And I guess Waller can, or remains with Theory, I should say. Waller can fuel that fire for Theory, saying, look, this guy took this away from us. He took away everything from you. We were successful. And then he shows up, starts talking about your past, and now we're not champions anymore. So, this should be an opportunity for Theory to go a lot darker and a lot deeper than he has before. He's something for him really to chew on, a real emotional storyline.
Yeah. One way or the other, you got to hope so. And if they keep Theory and Waller together, then you're getting that type of story in the tag division, which hasn't been a thing since WrestleMania. So that would be nice.
Isn't it funny though if they actually go that route? If they go that route, you can see, you know, Triple H, like I said, he takes his time with stuff, but once he gets around to it, and they get a real plan for something, then it really starts cooking. And then it's another thing that it's like, oh man, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this plays out. And it's slowly, one by one, each division is getting that level of attention. Just takes time.
It does. It does take time. Let's talk about the end of the show too. This informed Money in the Bank somewhat, but in a larger sense, it sets up probably what's going to happen at SummerSlam. The show concluded with a Bloodline video package in which Solo says, I have Ulafala. This makes me tribal chief. It's not what I wanted, but it's what our family needed. Roman, you aren't man enough to hold on to our title at WrestleMania, to defend our legacy against Cody Rhodes. You're not the tribal chief anymore. I am. I'm going to take that title back from Cody. And if you want that battle, then you're going to have to take it from me. Says, I'm going to show at the 6-man tag at Money in the Bank that I'm coming for Cody Rhodes, and you will acknowledge me. Steve, put your ones up for the Bloodline. Come on.
What? It's up.
Think of Tonga Loa as low blow.
Come on, man. He had to do it twice. I'm not going to throw my ones up for inadvertent silliness.
You did the other day.
Well, I changed my mind. I'm a complex
private me
individual.
of fun. How dare you? Anyways. So crystal clear now, especially after Money in the Bank. We're getting Solo versus Cody at SummerSlam. I've seen people complain, well, that's not a SummerSlam match.
Ugh, it is now. He pinned Cody Rhodes.
It is, because he pinned Cody, and also in terms of the larger story they're telling with Bloodline. Of course it is, because that means Roman Reigns is coming back.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. He's coming back.
You put your ones up for Roman?
Oh, high. Look at that. So high, I can't even see it anymore. Yeah, so Roman's going to come back at SummerSlam. And then we're off to the races. What odds right now do you give Solo of getting that title off of Cody?
None.
No confidence.
No, because
that
Randy
video's
Orton
been going around. No confidence, Hunter.
None, because Randy Orton's been eyeing that title for the longest time while it's on Cody's shoulders. So you got to think that's a match that's going to happen sometime between now and WrestleMania.
When's the
second most
show?
confidence I'm going to have at SummerSlam is Cody retaining against Solo. Most confidence is Gunther beating Damian Priest.
Wow. Ooh. They got a Damian Priest documentary dropping today, or the trailer came out today.
It's in August.
Oh, wow.
That's going to drop August 1st.
No.
People will watch it.
Yeah.
August 3rd, Gunther's new World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, man. Wow, that's a tough one. You got that. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's going to be Priest retains, and then Gunther goes to Berlin, has a nice exhibition bout with Ilya in the kickoff. That makes
interesting way of booking
a lot of sense.
Gunther.
Yeah, right. We'll see about all that. But yeah, no, I find it hard to believe that that Cody would lose to Solo. There's just not. I think there's one person that Cody may lose that title to. It's The Rock. Throw your L's up for The Rock. And even that's not like really a guarantee.
No, it's not. It's not a guarantee. So you got to expect at a certain point in the match, SummerSlam, ref bump.
Oh, yeah.
Cue Roman's theme.
Mm-hmm.
He comes to ringside. Maybe he spears Solo, takes the Ulafala back.
Mm-hmm.
Cody hits 3 crossroads. He wins.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He's going to give him the 3 crossroads treatment.
Yeah.
It's main event of SummerSlam, so you got to get the
3 crossroads.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I thought the little film vignette was good.
It was really well done.
It was really well done. It was really nicely lit. Jacob Fatu looked like a badass back there, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right about that. I think SummerSlam set. I think people need to, recognize that Solo, all 6'2" of Solo is
taller than Steve.
He's going to be a big deal. Let's see if it's still on Wikipedia.
I just thought that too. I'd be surprised if it is.
Me too. They're usually good at Solo Sikoa. Let's see here. Oh, dang it. Height 6'2".
Oh, I didn't know he was born in Sacramento, California. That's what it
Yeah,
says.
I noticed that too, and I was looking. I was like, was that like another troll right there? But no.
Played football at American River College. Wow.
Wow. Our alma mater, American River College.
We don't get into
closed.
Staff sure teaches a lot of classes over there, don't they? So the show kicked off with your typical bit with all the participants of Money in the Bank doing a promo off, talking crap about one another. This wasn't done while they're all sitting on top of ladders like they did a few years back. Starts with Jay. He says, "You want me to win Money in the Bank? Let me hear you say yeet." This brings out LA Knight. Yeah. There's some crap talk between them.
Including a yeet off.
Yeah.
It was very brief.
Too brief in my estimation. You could have milked that a little bit longer.
Whose idea? Oh, my God. Whose idea do you think this was?
Bruce Pritchard.
He got a text from Vince. Because it just felt like a Vince thing. But if it was Vince, this would have gone on for like 3 minutes straight.
Yeah, that had been too long. I felt like one more each. Yeah, yeet. Yeah, yeet would have been fine.
That was horrible.
Because we had a yeet, we had a yeah, then we had one more yeet, and then interrupted by Chad Gable.
Thank God. Thank God.
No, give me one more each. Then it's perfect.
All right.
So Chad Gable comes out and says, have a little empathy for somebody. Lists off all his plights. He's interrupted by Andrade. Says, everybody dreams of winning this match, but dreams don't win matches. Then Drew McIntyre comes out. He says, the violence I inflicted on Punk is exactly what I'm going to do to each and every one of you if you get my way tomorrow. There's a lot of references to Jay being able to cross the border into Canada. He referenced it. Drew referenced it as well. Mm-hmm. Of course, this eventually leads to a brawl. Jay Uso, LA Knight stand tall. Therefore, they weren't winning at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. I probably should have taken that into account. After that, we had a Bayley interview. Jackie's like, what does it take to win Money in the Bank and turn that into a title? And Bayley's like, well, it's one of the most brutal matches, but it's also one of the most rewarding. Chelsea interrupts, says, your advice is irrelevant. She was like, Bayley, you wouldn't be a champion if I wasn't illegally ejected from the match against Piper. And I'm coming for you when I become Miss Money in the Bank. And then Piper lays out Bayley from behind, setting up a match later on in the night because Bayley then goes to talk to Aldis. And as she's leaving, Naomi steps up. She's like, yeah, I got that match against Piper tonight. And Naomi says, I always got your back. And then Bayley's like, all right, I'm going to go get ready. And then Naomi gave this curious look afterwards. So we'll see if there's, maybe she didn't, and we're just reading into it. It's like
she says she has Bayley's back, but when Bayley was getting laid out after the match, where was she? Where was Naomi?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Then we got Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. Street Profits get the win here after a sky high from Dawkins. Ford follows with the frog splash. Then Waller's backstage warming up. Theory steps in, says, hey, are we on the same page? Waller is like, we're undefeated tag champs. Of course we're on the same page. And Theory says, I've been thinking about what Gargano said. And Waller responds, John's gotten in your head. You've lost focus. That's what he mentions. How many titles did you win when you were with Johnny? 0. When you stopped doing things Johnny's way and started doing things your way, became a 2-time U.S. champ, youngest Money in the Bank winner, you beat Cena, now you're tag champs. If we're not on the same page, it's time to catch up. After that, we get Indy and Candice versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Pretty quick win for Bianca and Jade. After Bianca and Jade hit their respective finishers, Jade covers Candice to get the win, and afterwards they got an interview. Bianca says the last couple months have been rough, but they're here to finish what they started, and that starts with getting their tag titles back from Isla and Alba. And Jade says, everyone at home knows, this whole crowd knows it's inevitable. We're coming for those tag titles. We'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Megan here points out Naomi couldn't help because she was laid out. Is that true?
Yeah, she was laid out prior, but as soon as the beatdown stopped, she got up.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Maybe we weren't supposed to see that part.
And high-fiving people on the way up the ramp.
I don't know. My memory's murky from that, but that's hilarious.
I remember that really stuck out. She like goes and consoles Bailey briefly, and then after the beatdown ends, and walks up the around the ringside area up the ramp, she's high fiving fans.
Well, my thing is, she's got more important things on her, on her schedule. Money in the Bank. It's like, hey, I don't want to get hurt helping you out here.
So we had Kevin Owens, Randall Keith Orton, Cody Rhodes coming to the ring for a promo. Cody basically starts, says he hypes up Sammy's stand-up special. He had done it in Toronto a couple days prior.
Are you going to watch that?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I have time to watch it.
Do you have any desire to watch it?
I don't know.
I'd watch it if I knew that Braun Breaker was going to come out and spear him.
I feel like if that happened, they would have showed this on the show.
I'd rather see a Braun Breaker stand-up special.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, hey. What's up with Ovaltine?
They call it Roundtine.
Why don't they call it Roundtine?
Yeah.
Round. Yeah.
So Cody says, I don't know about you, but we've heard enough from Solo and this modern bloodline. If they want to fight, we're ready for a fight. Orton says, if it's up to me, this fight would end. The three most dangerous letters of sports entertainment are KO. So Owens is up next and starts telling a story about how earlier in the week got a call from his dad telling him that his mom had been rushed to the hospital and Owens needed to come home. So he said he flew to Quebec, was by his mother's side throughout the week. And no one to blame him if he wasn't there on SmackDown except his mom.
Yeah.
He said it was his mom that taught him that you always got to keep fighting and you don't back down from a fight. You fight like hell. And so he says, so if she had heard that I missed the show because of her, she'd be pissed. So he punctuates it by saying, Bloodline, tomorrow, win, lose, or draw, all I care about is that I do what my mom wanted me to do for the last 4 years, and that is to not just kick the hell out of the Bloodline, it's to beat their asses worse than ever before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, we had, there's a video package for the tag titles, and then we had Bayley versus Piper Niven. There was a lot of stuff going on here. We had basically all the Money in the Bank participants coming out here. In the end, Bayley ends up getting the rose plant, and then Nia Jax hits the ring, lays out Bayley, hits her with a pair of leg drops, drags Bayley to the corner, looks for Annihilator. Then Mia Yim hits the ring. Boy, she's been everywhere lately. It's kind of great.
Yeah, she has. It's awesome.
Takes out Nia with a kendo stick. So she helps out Bayley there.
So what happened was when all the participants from the Money in the Bank match were out there is Io, she was sitting ringside. She jumps the barricade. She throws Naomi into the ring steps.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
We don't see Naomi again until she gets up and walks out with Bayley.
Yeah.
So in between that, her getting thrown the ring steps, at the end of the segment, we see Lyra and Zoe jump the barricade. We see them brawling on the floor. Tiffany takes them out. Takes out Lyra, Zoe, and Io ringside, I believe, with the moonsault.
With a moonsault, yeah.
And then Piper hits Bayley with a corner splash, looking for the Vader bomb. Bayley escapes that and hits the rose plant. Then Nia comes to the ring, lays out Bayley, a couple leg drops, looks for the Annihilator. Then she gets chased off by Mia Yim.
Yeah.
After all that.
Yeah, right. Making the case for why Naomi probably could have helped. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I wonder, I don't know if they think about that stuff too deeply when it comes to these. It's like, oh, yeah, well, why wouldn't Naomi help? Well, she just got taken out in the brawl. Okay. Even though, for us, it's like all this stuff happens. No, but I don't think anybody ever says that backstage. Like, okay, well, why wouldn't, a lot of stuff is going on. Why couldn't she help
but unless there's an intentional story being told subtly that Naomi says, Bayley, I have your back, but when Bayley has the odds against her, Naomi does not have her back. Of late, because I see, before I watched SmackDown, I watched it Saturday morning, or a good chunk of it Saturday morning. There was some stuff on social media, people making the case that Naomi says, Bayley, I have your back, but at least of late, it hasn't been the case. So that's what put the thought in my head, and so I was watching this segment with that kind of in mind.
Yeah.
But I'd have to do a deep dive over the last, pretty much since WrestleMania to really see if that were the case or not.
Be like, hey Steve, I'm moving some furniture on Saturday. I'm like, yeah, I'll come help out. And then a bunch of other people showed up, but I didn't show up.
Yeah.
Like Hilton comes over and helps you move, and you're like, "Where were you?" He was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I had very important stuff. I was taken out in a brawl.
Yeah. I got thrown into ring steps. Sorry.
I got thrown in ring steps 2 days
When did
ago."
that happen? Friday. I moved on Sunday.
Hello. Left on red. After that, we had a DIY promo backstage. They talk about 8 years ago, they walked into this arena and walked out NXT Tag Champs. This is 2 years ago. John returned to the WWE in this arena. He said, but tonight's not about the past. It's about capturing lightning in a bottle for the second time and becoming WWE Tag Champs. So it is referencing the past.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This match was really good, though.
They did that. Yeah, this match was awesome. This match was great.
Gave it a ton of time. And as mentioned, yeah, there's a couple throwbacks to DIY's match with the Revival.
Yeah, we got a shatter machine. And then the double submission spot.
Yeah, yep.
That was always cool.
Oh, no,
don't tap out. And then he gets put in the thing.
Yep. And so Waller taps to the Gargano escape. DIY. They are tag champions.
We are.
And then we got the Bloodline video package to close the show. We talked about that pretty extensively already. So
yeah.
Let's move on to AEW stuff now.
Time for AEW stuff. That's right. You know,
got some Dynamite notes, some Collision notes.
When was it? The 4th of July was on Thursday. So obviously this happened on Wednesday. And so we weren't going to do a review on Thursday. And then we took Friday off. So because we had that pay-per-view coming up.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, a bunch of stuff has happened in AEW since Wednesday. My God, hadn't even been a week yet. Been 5 days.
I think tops amongst those. I think 2 stories. MJF is a heel again.
Bad MJF is back. He kicked Garcia in the nuts and brutalized him, and then started yelling at the camera. He was calling out. Was he calling out Ospreay or just the crowd in general?
Well, and when he was going through the crowd, almost got into a fight with a dude.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Threw like the contents of a garbage can in the direction of somebody else.
Wow.
So,
do you think that guy was a plant?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if he was a plant, he would have done more. He would have like grabbed him and given him a heat seeker.
Maybe, yeah. Through the guardrail of the bleachers there.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe.
Cool.
And then on Collision, he explained his heel turn, and that's all rooted on in Adam Cole turning on him. You know, that's kind of what I expected. That once
it was
Adam
a you
Cole,
people thing. It was a you people.
It turned into that, yeah. But you know, it was I trusted. I opened myself up. I was vulnerable, not only to Adam Cole but to everybody here. Adam Cole turned on me, and then after I lost the title to Joe, the fans turned on me too. They were chanting "Thank you, Joe" on the Dynamite after World's End, and so that's why I'm bad at MJF again.
That's why.
And he called that Will Ospreay, so that's for sure going to be the match at Wembley.
You think that's going to be the main event? MJF is a big enough, he's a big enough name for that to main event.
No, I don't think so. I think Swerve will main event. He should.
Do you think because they're like a week apart? Hangman's hot right now.
Oh, you mean All Out? All Out's 2 weeks after. Wembley.
Is it 2 weeks?
It's 2 weeks. They shifted the dates. So it's 2 weeks after.
I thought they shifted it so that it wasn't. Oh yeah, it was. That's right. It was 1 week.
It was because it's the week before Labor Day weekend. All in, and last year they had All Out the following week, but they shifted it. But they already said the winner of the Owen gets the main event spot against.
Are they calling it the main event, not just the world title?
No, this title shot at Wembley.
Okay.
But if it's Swerve Danielson and Danielson's last hurrah, that's going to main event.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
None of them are British, though.
I don't think that's. I don't think it's a certainty that if Ospreay is in the international title match against MJF, that he's going to main event. No, I don't think it's a certainty.
Okay. All right. I hope the world title main events. It should.
It should.
So you see Danielson, not Hangman?
No, I just brought up Danielson as an example because Hangman's back. He was the wild card as expected. Destroyed Jeff Jarrett on Dynamite. And then with the help of Christian, defeated Jay White on Collision to advance to the final. So the final will be Danielson versus Hangman. Their 3 prior matches have all been great. I expect this on Collision, their match, to be just as awesome. But I don't know. Hangman's made it pretty clear that he's not back to help the Elite. He is back for one purpose, and that's to get the swerve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is it a situation where he's so overcome with emotion, so driven by that singular emotion in this match, that Danielson can exploit that for his own benefit? Because we've seen time and time again in Hangman's journey that when he falls back on emotion too much, he tends to shoot himself in the foot.
Yeah, but this isn't an emotion we've seen from Hangman.
No, we haven't seen this level of anger.
This is like super angry Hangman. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the idea of you got All In and then 2 weeks later All Out, they could do a switcheroo where Hangman beats Swerve and then Swerve beats him 2 weeks later at All Out. They could do something like that. Because Hangman's on an absolute tear right now. I think he's going to chew up Danielson. That Jarrett match was awesome. I saw a lot of people bizarrely upset that Jarrett lost. I love Jeff Jarrett, don't get me wrong, and I thought him being in the Owen was great, but like that was in service of this story right here. I'm like, they're not going to bring Hangman Page back just to lose Jeff Jarrett in the first round of the Owen. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It was awesome, though. He gave him the buckshot lariat and then didn't pin him and just gave him some ground and pound and then hit him with the dead eye. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That was rad. That was so cool.
It was pretty violent, yeah.
Yeah.
In other Owen tournament news, our finals are set in the women's bracket. So Willow defeated Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
To advance to the final for the second year in a row, and she'll be facing Mariah May.
Now, Mariah May also is British. So, like, she's going to win that. Statlander's going to cost that for Willow, I'd imagine.
Mariah May is going to win, and she'll face Toni Storm at Wembley,
Yeah, that's going to be, ooh, boy, that's going to be a lot of heat there.
Yeah.
You think Mariah May wins in Wembley?
It's possible.
I think it's a super possibility.
I think it's a possibility, yeah.
I'd put like 6 confidence points on that.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Maybe 4.
Speaking of Danielson, he advanced after beating Pac. And then Britt Baker had a promo on Dynamite.
Yeah, she came back, said she had a stroke. Mini stroke.
It's like a precursor to it. Yeah.
Yeesh.
That's scary
rough.
stuff.
That is scary stuff. Yeah.
On top, it was that on top of all the other physical ailments that she had kind of accumulated wrestling.
Yeah.
And have that happen on top of it. Yeah, that sucks.
What do you think? So this is going to be obviously, she called her out for All In. Mercedes said, get to the end of the line, biatch. And then Britt looked and said, there's no line here. And
referencing something that Mercedes said in WWE.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously this is going to be the match at All In.
Yeah.
Who wins that match?
Mercedes does.
What? Britt Baker's been gone forever. She had a mini stroke.
Yeah, Mercedes wins that.
Wow. Because Mercedes says doesn't work for me, brother. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, she said she had creative control, didn't she? Regardless if she has creative control or not, no, Mercedes wins. Mercedes not losing for a while.
Okay. All right. Wow. Britt's been gone for a long time.
I know.
She going to cheat to win?
Probably.
Okay. All right.
So Britt's like kind of wrapping up her promo in the ring. Mercedes arrives. The Young Bucks are outside the arena to greet her and says, hey, you can start your championship celebration right now.
Yeah.
And so then they have stagehands come in, bring balloons in the ring, setting up for the celebration while Britt's still there.
Yeah.
It was pretty effective. It was a super effective staging of everything. It was pretty well done.
Yeah.
In terms of getting maximum heat on Mercedes.
We know who's going to be facing the Elite. Blood and Guts.
We know for sure one member, and you really think it's going to be Kyle O'Reilly and the Acclaimed joining Mark Briscoe against the Elite?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I do.
Like, I get the Acclaimed. They're feuding with the Young Bucks. That I understand.
Yeah.
No, I like Kyle O'Reilly, but has he really won more than one match since he came back from injury?
Yeah. Yeah, he went on a run before. Yeah, he went. Remember, like, the Kingdom kept on coming over and, like, hoisting him up. Yeah. But then he lost to Strong.
He's lost quite a few matches on TV.
Yeah, he's lost matches. Yeah, he's always in people that are above.
You know what I'm hoping is that Swerve says, I'll be member of Team AEW, because the Young Bucks said to Hangman, hey, be our fifth. And Hangman's like, no, I'm not.
Oh, and so Hangman's gonna follow him.
Yeah, once Swerve says I'll join Team AEW,
You're on, then I'm on.
and Hangman's rushing right into the Young Bucks office and saying I'm in.
Yeah, any opportunity to get at that guy.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, makes sense. And then the Learning Tree shot a fireball at Hook's face.
Yeah.
Backstage.
Yeah.
So that's where that is. And then let's see here. On Collision, this is more Collision stuff here. Marco Stunt came back to get lawn darted by
annihilated by Jack Perry. Yeah.
God, that bit where he lawn darted him into the turnbuckle. Wow.
That was crazy. Crazy.
That was pretty crazy. Claudio defeated Taurus. And
that's
then
not his name now, though.
I don't know what his name is now. I saw him. I was like, that's Taurus.
Yeah.
And then Rio got injured. Apparently she
broke her arm.
wrist. Her arm.
Yeah.
Match against Lady Frost, but she still won, though. But yeah, that was rough. That was super rough. So there's your AEW stuff.
Recap. Got that in about 10 minutes. 2 shows. Well, 3, kind of. Because didn't Mariah May advance to the finals on Rampage?
I just saw I just saw the recap of that on. I gotta update this banner, man. I told you this the other day. I was so inspired by the Money in the Bank graphics.
Oh yeah,
I gotta bring some heat to this.
Those graphics are really good.
These graphics,
they're really good.
So I gotta go back to the drawing board in ours, man.
All right.
Yeah, we'll get there. But yeah. So there's your AEW recap. 3 shows in 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes, maybe 15.
Oh god, I'm gonna get in trouble, man. All these AEW marks are gonna be in our comments.
I mean, Dynamite was a good show. The main event, the Ospreay and Garcia, was really good.
Yeah,
that was a stellar match.
Yeah,
I thought they did a good job of Dynamite of advancing stories, building towards All In.
I'd like to see Dynamite. Like 4 Dynamites in a row do that.
No, I don't disagree with that.
Just like 4 Dynamites in a row.
Oh, sorry, we didn't talk about the video package of the Time Traveler.
Who's the Time Traveler?
So the mask looks very Aerostar.
It does, yeah. Lucha Blog thinks it's not Aerostar.
Yeah, it's not exactly Aerostar's mask, but it looks a lot like Aerostar. Like
Dark
the layout of the mask.
It's warp speed.
That'd be cool.
Is it Rick? No, well, it's not Ricochet. So we see an image of a guy. I'm just sort of curious what like real like hardcore wrestle AEW fans think of a time traveler vortex character.
I don't know. So you see somebody with hair. They have hair.
I've seen Sammy Guevara being mentioned.
Yeah, it didn't look like Sammy's hair though.
It did not look like Sammy's hair unless he grew it out.
That's entirely possible. So this
Von
individual.
Wagner.
It
did not look like Von Wagner.
No, it did. Jumps into some portal, and then we see a really tight close-up of someone in a mask. And it, like the prompt on the kind of computer screen said hologram.
It's a hologram. And I saw somebody on social media, like somebody posted this thing, and it was like somebody said, "This is like the best thing I've ever seen," or whatever. And then somebody else below it in the reply said, "Hey, somebody jumped into a condom." He said the vortex looked like a giant condom.
Oh goodness!
So yeah, he jumps into it, and then you get that little hologram, and then Dark Dick Lucha says it's Shane.
Oh my goodness!
Nick says that too.
I don't think Shane's jumping into any portal if he got recovering from double quad tears like that.
All right, man. Power rank. Who is hologram?
I mean, it's not a certainty that whoever they had jump in that portal is who actually is going to be hologram.
Okay. All right.
I don't think it's Ricochet.
Right. What if Ricochet comes back with a full head of hair? He took his time and went to Turkey.
Maybe.
Talked to MJF's guy. And then he gets on the Instagram with like a glorious head of hair. And somebody's like, "Why you got hair? Why you bald?"
I guess it could be Sammy if he grew his hair out. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be Sammy. It didn't seem as like spindly as Sammy. Didn't seem as long as Sammy. Sammy's like long.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not anybody that we've seen on AEW TV before.
Is it somebody like in Deadlock Pro Wrestling? Is it Chris Danger? But now he's a time traveler.
Now hologram.
Now he's hologram.
Maybe it's a portal that this individual's been digitized.
Why? It's Sammy Callahan.
Sammy Callahan, yeah. Solomon Crow is coming back.
Solomon Crow jumping through the time condom.
My hologram, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. I went back in time. I invested in Netflix and Nvidia. Is it Dijak? I'm going through time now. Kushida? It didn't look like Kushida from the back.
I thought Kushida signed with TNA.
Oh, is he? Okay.
I thought so.
I mean, that would be, the gimmick makes sense. He's a big Back to the Future fan.
Yeah, I don't know.
What if it's just a repackaged John Silver? That would be amazing.
Alex Reynolds is hologram.
Oh, that would be. Zondo says he was TJP shaped. Says I love video games and time rubbers. Oh, Trevor Lee, I'm going back in time to the past.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
All right, you want to answer some questions, Steve?
It's a repackaged room. You guys are hilarious, man.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going back in time through my time condom. Why are you bald? Oh, I'm gonna go back and save Ricochet. Don't go live on IG.
I know.
Oh, man.
Jack Napier with our first question here says, should all tag teams be required to have a tag team name rather than just the name of the individuals? If they're a real tag team, not just a put together tag team
they need a name.
for convenience,
they need a name.
then yes, they should have a name.
Motor City. That's the best name ever. Motor City Machine Guns. Apparently they're in talks with WWE. Do we ever
I thought it was a certainty they're going to AEW.
I know, me too, dude. There was a couple little news bits. Evidently, mid-card titles for the women in WWE.
Saw that. Yeah, saw that too.
A women's U.S. title and a women's Intercontinental. Who should be the first United States women's champion and the first Intercontinental?
Well, which brand are they going to be on?
Well, same as Raw and SmackDown.
All right, so the Intercontinental title's on Raw. Lyra Valkyria for Intercontinental Champion.
Lyra Valkyria.
Just want to hear you try to say a name. U.S. champ.
U.S. champ is on SmackDown. Who's on SmackDown? We got Stratton. We got Jax.
Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill for first United States champion. She can be tag champion. You can't hoard all the titles like that.
Why not?
No. Who else is on SmackDown? Where are these?
Nia
rosters?
Jax.
Naomi for the first United States champion. There you go.
There's a good answer.
There's a good answer.
Good answer.
Oh man, Mia Yim would be so cool for first mid-card title.
Yeah.
She's such a great worker.
Yeah.
She's everywhere these days. Yeah, Shane. I was thinking Shayna too for Intercontinental Champion. That'd be really cool.
Colton here says wrestling NBA crossover question.
Yeah.
Who will win more championships for the next 10 years, Gunther or Wemby?
Oh wow. Have the Spurs made any big moves?
They got Harrison Barnes now.
Have the Spurs made any big moves, Larson?
I think so. I think they signed some people.
Where'd Clay end up? Oh, Mavericks.
Yeah, the
That's
Mavs.
not a big move.
Oh,
either.
that's right. The Spurs got Chris Paul.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's not a big move. Yeah,
answer's
that
Gunther.
10 years ago, that'd have been good. The
Answer's Gunther.
Yeah, probably Gunta. But I don't know. The Spurs, the Spurs people will go to the Spurs.
You mean as long as Popovich is coaching?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got to think that he's arguably the best coach, not just in the league today, in the history of the league.
The history of the NBA.
So you gotta give the Spurs a shot if they got the talent to compete. That he'll get them to championship level for sure.
Yeah. The Blind Cinephile says, "Hey Stone, I built a flux capacitor with Shane McMahon." Von Wagner. Also, Power Rangers Explained with a couple of super chats says, my birthday is Hey, my birthday's Thursday. Happy birthday, Power Rangers Explained. Also, Power Rangers Explained. What a great YouTube channel name. Says, Solo versus Cody needs to be inside Hell in a Cell. At Bad Blood?
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
Could be. Private Pulse here has become a channel member for 2 months now. Says, hey, we're at 420 channel members now, Larson.
Awesome.
Nice. Says DIY and Ethan Page as champs. This is the greatest wrestling company in the world. And then Private Pulse also with a super chat says, that's my champ, Egoat. Instead of into ego.
I get it.
Egoat.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the goat.
Sean Jones here asks, which would you prefer, a good story with underwhelming matches or a weak storyline that produces great matches?
Great story. A great story. I don't care about weak stories. I want great stories with just some turd matches.
The wrestling aspect of wrestling, not a high priority for Steve.
Was Goldberg versus Hogan any good? Probably not. But, man, I remember that. Well, it wasn't really a story. It was really Goldberg beating a bunch of people, and they shoehorned him into the world title.
Well, like, let me ask you this. Is a weak storyline, hey, I want to be champion? Is that considered a weak storyline?
Yeah.
All right. There's been a lot of really great matches that have arisen from the story of, I want to be champion.
Yeah, it's overdone. It's overdone. I don't know. Like, I think Roman and Jay's relationship / story was like top tier, but then that tribal warfare match wasn't very good. But I just remember, man, Jay saying, I don't give a damn what the tribal chiefs say. Jay versus Jimmy. Jay versus Jimmy. Yeah, boy, that was a bad match.
That was really bad.
That was
worse than tribal warfare.
I don't know. Dude, it's ingredients. You know, it's just you got to get the right ingredients. And the matches have to line up with the good stories.
Exactly.
And the thing is, the good matches, they feed the good stories. You know?
Should. It's done right. They should.
You can't just go out there and drop a turd.
No. Alex Foster asks, Steve, would you want to replace Going in Raw's intro music with DIY's theme?
Oh, yeah.
Copyright were no issue.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We have to change it, though, to we are
G-I-R.
Exactly.
Going in Raw, not talking about sex. Going in Raw, two old dudes.
Talking about wrestling.
Talking about graps.
Yeah, that's how it would have to be.
I gotta get the, what do I do? The YouTube, right?
Yeah, you do the YouTube.
I gotta get up the questions.
You have to get on the YouTube there.
We are.
Cameron Bortolazzo here asks, what are the chances that after night 2 of Mania, the world champs are John Cena and The Rock?
Oh, wow. Biggest ever. Yeah, I can see that shit.
I suppose maybe.
I think it's a possibility.
Maybe.
I am the Rocky Feller says, did we ever find out why Ava didn't want Trick to sign the contract from the singles match? No. Was it a no rematch clause if Ego won? Ooh.
That only applied to their one-on-one bout, you'd think. It's a separate contract for the four-way.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, different match. Zach Steesh. Oh, by the way, Zach Steesh here. Let me see if I can bring this up. Zach Steesh took a sign, a Friendo Club sign, with him to Forbidden Door. And before they can get it on TV, it was snatched away.
What the heck?
What the hell? What the fuck?
What's your deal, All Elite Wrestling?
What's your deal, All Elite? It's, you know why? It's because we got a banner with Becky Lynch holding their title.
Oh, they're not aware of that. Come on.
Oh, they know.
Nah,
they know.
Trust
me, they know.
They don't know.
I hope Zach is okay with this. I'm going to show the picture on the stream right now.
What does it say on sign?
Oh, man, it's a great sign. It's a little low res. It says, join Friendo Club today. That's great. Look at that.
What's egregious about that? What is that?
I know. What's wrong with this? Join Friendo? What, do they think we're a pyramid scheme or something? Or some sort of Amway situation?
Not true.
We're not.
No.
We're not an MLM. That'd be cool if we were, because we'd be making a lot of money.
But we're not.
Speaking of making a lot of money, we got, if you guys are wondering about this hat right here, the Friendo Club hat, we got it right now, friendoshop.com. Use promo code Friendo2024. You get 20% off. We got this logo on
Shirts
Also,
too, yeah.
shirts, a mug, a hoodie, 2 variations of the hat. Go check it out. But we're not an MLM.
No. Time More here asked, with NXT using Heatwave, WB bringing back Bad Blood, and rumors saying that WCW's New Blood Rising potentially being used. What other pay-per-view names from back in the day should they bring back from each of those companies?
In Your House, Degeneration X.
Good. Good. What about ECW?
I don't think you could do Barely Legal.
Mm-mm.
That sounds horrible. That'll get NXT canceled.
What about, where's some of the other ones they had in ECW?
Oh, dude, there were a bunch that I barely remember, but I'll look at the...
Was it Living Dangerously? Living Dangerously.
Living Dangerously. That's a really good one.
There we
Pay-per-view
go.
names.
For WCW, of course, it's Hog Wild.
Yeah, Hog Wild, absolutely. Here we go. ECW. Do you know what their very first live event was called? Back when they were still Eastern Championship Wrestling?
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
Market Street Mayhem.
Interesting.
Bring that back. How about bring
would
this?
that take place in the middle of the afternoon at the ECW arena?
It says Original Sports Bar was the venue.
They had it at a sports bar?
Kind of awesome. Maybe it was just like a fight. It was like, Surfer Sandman went in there and picked a fight with the local yokel.
Oh, Johnny
Could be.
Hotbody went in there and had some drinks, didn't pay his tab.
Yeah, exactly. We also had Ultra Clash.
All right.
The final match, which I guess is the main event, would be Crash the Terminator and Miguelito Perez versus the Headhunters. The Headhunters was the team Headhunter A and Headhunter B.
All right.
Bloodfest. That might be too much for NXT.
Probably too much, especially for NXT, yeah.
Terror at Tabor at the Tabor Community Center in Philadelphia. How about this? What if you bring back NXT presents ASWA ECW MEWF Super Show from Kenwood High School?
It's probably a no.
The main event was Jake Roberts versus Mr. Hughes. Oh, Holiday Hell.
Oh, that's not bad.
And then it could be hosted by Holiday Harry. The night the line was crossed. It's not bad. Oh, what about this one? Ultimate NXT presents Ultimate Jeopardy.
Oh, that's not bad.
That just sounds like the Tournament of Champions Jeopardy.
Yeah, it does.
Ultimate Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hostile City Showdown. Hardcore Heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, but NXT, they're not going to get hardcore.
No, not really, but for NXT.
Ooh, how about this one? NXT presents Double Tables. That's weird. How many do we need? Double tables.
So every match just has exactly 2 tables in it.
Yeah, right. Ooh, here
Or
we
there
go.
2 tables the entire time.
Hey, this one actually is legitimately good if they go back to Philadelphia. NXT presents South Philly Jam.
Oh, that's not bad.
It sounds like a very particular form of jam you can get.
Yeah.
Big Apple Blizzard Blast. That sounds like something from DQ.
It does, yeah.
Sounds like something you get from Dairy Queen.
It does sound like that.
Can I get a Big Apple Blizzard Blast? Oh, yeah. Those are delicious. Oh, this is a great name for a pay-per-view. ECW put this one on. The main event was Raven versus Shane Douglas. But the name of the pay-per-view is Just Another Night. Just another night.
Just another night.
You'd like this one. The main event, 1996, the Eliminators versus the Gangstas. Fight the Power. Oh, wow. Listen to this one. Requiem for a Pit Bull.
Wow.
It's a very specific title.
That is.
Oh, I like this one. Check out this ECW pay-per-view name. Unlucky Lottery.
Oh,
Isn't that every lottery except for like one person?
Except for the person that wins, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Orgy of Violence. Born to be Wired.
Oh, yeah.
Terry Funk's WrestleFest. Not just any WrestleFest. Terry Funk's.
Terry Funk's.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. ECW. It Ain't Seinfeld. NXT brings back It Ain't Seinfeld. That'd be the most confusing NXT.
I know.
Yeah.
Kyle here says, who do you think will be the next ex-AEW wrestler to be a champion? WWE, Ricky Starks.
The next what champion? Oh, yeah.
Former AEW wrestler would be a champion, WWE.
Yeah, for sure. Ricky
He and
Starks.
Cody be tag champs or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool. I'd like that. Let's see here. Oh, wow. Zach Steesh. I showed his picture earlier. I didn't read his question. His question is this. Should we now all refer to Seth Rollins as the real world's champion since he technically pinned Priest? No, you'd have to pin Punk for that to be the real world's champion.
Yeah. Luis here asks, if Cena could have any non-WWE Dream opponent for his farewell tour, who would you want that person to be? Luis brings up Tanahashi.
Oh.
Tanahashi's knees are kind of shot. I don't know if the match would be that
Tanahashi
great.
from a while ago. That would have been good. Non-WWE for Cena? Suzuki would pop people pretty big.
Okada,
yeah. I was trying to think kind of realistically, because like AEW's off the board, but like TNA.
Oh, yeah. Well, really anybody in New Japan's probably off the board then too.
Let's see here. Absolute says, what are the odds?
Dr. Wagner Jr.
That'd be great. Psycho Clown. Absolute says, what are the odds we'll see Wes Lee challenge for the NXT Championship before WrestleMania weekend?
Oh, yeah. I would not be surprised if he challenges Ethan Page for that title.
I could see that. Jeffrey Nguyen here with the super chat says, for some reason, these names made me think of MTV's basketball show Rock and Jock.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember Rock and Jock.
Yeah, Rock and Jock was great.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else do we have?
Sorry, go ahead.
Joe, the meme maker says if Cena did an open challenge for his retirement tour, which NXT guys could answer the challenge? Oh, but Femi comes in and just squashes him.
Yeah.
You're a bug.
Hank and Tank.
Wow. Terrible. Tony D. AJ
Possible.
Francis. My spirit animal's a Dorito says, if you started your own hot dog empire called Glicks and Glizzies, which celebrity would you want to hire as your spokesperson?
Is there anybody that we're aware of that's a celebrity that's a noted enthusiast, hot dog enthusiast? I mean, Joey Chestnut makes sense.
Yeah. Isn't he already like exclusive to the
Possible, right?
Yeah, Impossible. Yeah. I don't know if we can get him.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to go with like, no. I'm going to go with Lawrence Fishburne, but in character as Doc Rivers.
All right.
No, the entire, like, all the actors who played the various Clippers players and the Golden State Warriors players. Like, fake Draymond Green. That's what I'm going to get.
There you go.
Oh, Mr. Dope says Arn Anderson would be great. That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. Frozen Tape here asks, with it being Cena's last Mania, should he main event night one? With the right opponent, sure.
Who, Cena?
Yeah.
Oh, I could see that, yeah.
Yeah. Especially if he's contending for a title, yeah.
Okay, so Jay Smooth, our current champion, says, saw something on Twitter calling MJF the worst good promo. Who do you think is the best bad promo? Sid. Or Steiner. Probably Steiner.
Yeah, Steiner's got to be up there too.
Steiner's probably up there. He says also, what are your thoughts on people calling on this Twitter thing, calling MJF the worst good promo?
It's the low-hanging fruit thing. When MJF has good stuff to work with, he is a really good promo. When it's just, the kind of lazy insults. I
didn't think referencing Dave Meltzer, those other guys, when these star ratings are sitting here, but saying Ospreay, he cares about Dave Nelson. I care about Albert Nielsen. I don't think that's a particularly strong point to make during a wrestling promo.
No, it's not.
I care about ratings. So yeah, I mean, when he's good, he's really good.
Yeah.
but he needs something to sink his teeth into.
He does. He really does.
And it's like fewer times that he does.
They don't have to give him 12 minutes every time he has a promo segment either.
Yeah. Emerald City Pictures says, do you guys think that WWE is going to try to get rid of both briefcases early this year to open things up for the Money in the Bank matches going back to Mania? I don't think they're going to go back to Mania.
No. I think Money in the Bank as its own pay-per-view has established itself as
it's a strong pay-per-view.
A show kind of in line with the other major 4 pay-per-views in terms of how it affects storylines. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Have you updated your feelings about Money in the Bank? Do you think it was a wasted briefcase? Do you think it was a wasted opportunity?
I don't necessarily think it was a wasted briefcase. I just wish they had come about it utilizing it in a more clever fashion. That's that's still how you feel. Yeah, it's the same story beat we've seen 2, 3, 4 times prior to that. And if it was, and I know people say, well, doing it this way brought Seth back into it. Yes, I understand that and agree with that. But Matt, I don't know. Given that you have Seth in the mix too, there's an extra variable that you could better utilized in how that all went down, rather than Seth coming up, getting his feet afterwards, realizing what happened, like, oh, Punk, you cost me this. Like, get him involved in all that.
It was the details, wasn't it?
It's the details. It's the details. Exactly. It was the details.
When you look at what's on the horizon, I don't think putting the briefcase on like a Chad Gable, for example, or a Jey Uso, I don't think it makes any sense. There's a good 45% chance that Gunther's going to get this title at SummerSlam. Now, if that didn't happen, Finn could have made sense with Damian Priest.
Yeah. If it wasn't a situation where Gunther had the title shot at SummerSlam, and it seemed a near certainty that he was going to win it, then using the Money in the Bank in a more traditional manner would make a lot of sense. Or if someone Solo had it, that would have made sense.
Like, you could fantasy book any number of scenarios, but I don't think who is in the match, I don't think anybody really makes sense beyond what happened at Money in the Bank. And I absolutely agree with you. I think that they were probably hurt a little bit by the botch kick out, but or lack of. But that being said, I do think that there was probably a way that Drew wouldn't have looked so kind of dumb, because it's like, bro, this has happened a lot before.
I know. And all the other times he hasn't gotten like any shots in on Punk. He's gotten the upper hand on Punk one time.
Yeah.
And it was an off-camera beatdown.
Mm-hmm.
All the other time, Punk has had the upper hand. If it's a situation where Punk, in the grand scheme of things, gets the advantage, preventing Drew from winning the title, but Drew gets his pound of flesh in the process.
Yeah.
All right. It's a little different.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's 5 different ways they could approach that. Maybe would have been more effective in terms of adding wrinkles to the story rather than just the same story beat again.
Yeah. Kiddo says, in hindsight, do you think it would have been better for WWE to have stuck with the WCW reboot they had planned instead of trying to reboot ECW? So originally they were looking at making WCW into its own brand. But they had, according to the Guy Evans book, one of the larger issues was they couldn't find TV time for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I think
like 2 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, one of the options was like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then they had the Buff Bagwell Booker T match, which people didn't like. There was like another match, I think, as well, that just was whatever. I think it was like a Kidman match or something like that. But and then there was like, yeah, we're just not going to do it. And then years later, Triple H wanted the new NXT after ECW to be WCW, and somebody like Regal or somebody said, maybe it was Dusty, said, just do your own thing. And so he came up with the word next without an E in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that if it was like, okay, we're going to bring back ECW, but instead of that, they were like, we're going to bring back WCW, but do it the same way. I don't think it's not WCW. It's just letters, it's not.
Yeah. Well, it's the same problem with ECW. They brought back the name, but not the philosophy.
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Colton has another question here. Why doesn't WWE use the full weekend format more often? The SmackDown on Friday, the PLE on Saturday, and the NXT show on Sunday.
I mean, they do it what, once a quarter?
Maybe.
I think they do it once a quarter.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, they do it Mania weekend. They did this past weekend.
They'll do SummerSlam weekend.
No, Great American Bash is the Tuesday after SummerSlam. They just announced that.
Oh, it's regular TV?
Yeah, it's regular TV. There's not a takeover PLE that weekend.
We've got one more super weekend coming up in August. It's
Bash in Berlin and then
Bash in Berlin.
Yeah.
And then Jeffrey Nguyen here with the super chat says, do you think they'd ever bring Iron Survivor to Survivor Series?
Oh, that'd be cool.
I'd be into that. I don't know if they would do that or not, if they just want to sort of keep that
in NXT.
NXT. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't think War Games should be a prerequisite for Survivor Series. Like, when it makes sense, do it, as opposed to building a pay-per-view around it. The same issue with Hell in a Cell and a lot of the other theme pay-per-views is that when the whole show is based on a gimmick match, then you have to kind of shoehorn the storyline to build to the gimmick match, as opposed to an organic progression of a story that inevitably leads to the gimmick match.
I'm just trying to do something. Says WWE just posted the complete story of Judgment Day on YouTube. Will tonight be the night? Something big's going to happen because it's Raw after pay-per-view, so something big is going to happen.
Will Rhea return tonight?
Ooh. There you go. Blake Whitehouse says, when NXT moves to the CW, a channel that's technically in as many homes as Fox, should they start having the Royal Rumble winner challenge for the NXT Championship, or at least tease it? No. They're never going to do that. Now, they did that before, but in this day and age, when everything is so big, everything is huge, they're not going to do that again.
No. I could do a Raw preview here real quick. I got it up.
Oh, you want to bring in Triple H? Ask him a bunch of questions.
I suppose we're going to ask him how we can get ourselves on the WWE documentaries in the future. Nothing else.
All right. Well, I got him here on Zoom. Looks like he's got some spare time, so that's good. Here we go. Hello, hi. This is Paul Levesque here to answer your questions.
Hi, Paul.
You know what I really can't stand? I can't stand those really long pay-per-views. And I'm not I'm not talking about AEW. Don't aggregate my comments. I don't want to see it on my burner account. I'm talking about like WrestleMania 35. Oh my God, that was
a long show. 33 was a long show too.
33 was the worst. I spent some time. I went down on the floor and I was like, oh my God, these strobing lights are giving me a headache.
A match on that card. You wouldn't be doing
I hated it. It was the worst. So anyways, you want to preview Raw?
First, I got a question for you, Game.
Yeah, it's like one of them. It's like one of those press conferences.
Kind of. So in the WrestleMania behind the curtain,
behind the curtain, the greatest documentary. It's like the one about the Thin Blue Line, whatever that was called. I forget.
It was called. Thin Blue Line,
it's like
Errol Morris documentary. Yes.
Who's that chubby guy who does documentaries too? He's everywhere.
Michael Moore, Roger Moore.
Yeah, that guy.
So
on par with that, the truth, nothing but the truth.
You had some streamers, some wrestling YouTube personalities on that documentary.
Yeah, a bunch of wrestling nerds.
Sure.
Just sweating there.
Given our relationship, right?
I was
kind of surprised that you didn't have us on.
Is that what you call this? You call this a relationship? No, this is a one-sided beneficial relationship. Nobody cares about it. Listen. This is all lip service here. This is fan service. You're just a couple of jabronis. You're not gonna be on the You know why you're not gonna be on the documentary? Because you got that pissant company up there with the title, the AEW title right up there. Then
just
you
crop
get
it
champion. Out. No, we can't do that. We're not gonna. That'd be extra work, No, I'm not gonna do that. Now listen. I tell you what. This is what you do. You get rid of all the AEW crap in your podcast. You go back through all your episodes. You cut out. You use the YouTube editor, and you edit all. Any mention of that pissant company out, and then we'll talk about it.
I don't know.
And then you got to start doing Raw watch-alongs. Bring back Raw reviews Monday nights.
Oh my gosh.
Friday night Smackdown.
Oh my Lord. I like having my Friday nights.
Oh yeah, nobody cares about that. Come on, you want to be on a
My
WWE
family
documentary?
cares.
You want to be on a WWE documentary, or don't you? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. You're not committed like those other streamers are. How about this? Let's do a quick audition.
All right.
I want to see you react to the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, biggest ever, comes back.
Ooh, Roman's back. Yeah.
That was the fakest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I'm not actually seeing it.
Take two. Let's do this again now. All right, how about this new scenario?
All right.
Roman Reigns comes back, and the game Triple H comes out, and he gives him a pedigree. What's your reaction?
What was that?
What? That's a terrible reaction. That was the worst reaction I've ever seen in my life. That looked like your tax guy just farted on your W-2. What was that reaction? That was terrible. How about this?
All right, sorry.
How about this? All right, start a clean slate. All right. I want your reaction for Eric Bischoff shows up on Raw and announces the new WCW 2.0 on Netflix, 10.0 on Netflix Wednesday nights. What's your reaction? Are you sleeping? What are you doing right now? Are you smelling your hand? That's not a good reaction. You can't do the grind. You can't do the grind. These reactions are terrible. You need to worry about work on your reactions, and then work on getting the grind. That's right.
What do you mean about the grind?
You got to do Smackdown watch along.
How many podcasts do 5 episodes a week? Tell me.
A lot of them, tons of them. You got to do Smackdown watch along. You got to do the Raw watch along.
I watch along with the show, just here in my desk.
No, you gotta put it on camera. You gotta react.
Why does everything have to be on camera?
Everything's like Warren Beatty said. If you're not doing it on camera, why are you even bother doing it? I'm already out of time. You just see how last week, the most cinematic, epic Raw of all time. I'm looking to do even better now.
All right.
Tonight,
you want to do Raw preview with me?
Tonight, yeah, Raw preview. Go ahead.
All right. Can I get your reactions?
We got a new DP, Roger Deakins.
Wow, that's impressive. I want to get your reactions to all these segments on Raw. I know you know what they are, but we're going to turn it around a little bit. You're going to give me your reactions like you heard this is the Raw card for the first time.
Okay.
All right. Liv Morgan and Dirty Dominic Mysterio form a likely tandem to take on Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega.
Wow. Oh, it's happening. It's happening. Wow, that's huge.
You give me crap.
Listen, you pisshead. I don't need to react for the documentary. I am the documentary.
All right, next. Braun Strowman and the Awesome Truth team up to take on Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Carlito.
The Awesome Truth is still a thing. Ditch that. I'm going to change that.
All right. Lyra Valkyria teams up with Caden Carter and Katana Chance to take on Damage Control.
Lyra Valkyria. We got to change that name. It's a really hard name to change.
And then Jey Uso goes head-to-head with Chad Gable.
Chad Gable, I wanted to put money in the bank on him, and then Bruce was like, hey, I don't think you should do that because we got a lot of people. And I was like, shut up. And I gave him a pedigree.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I'm sure you got some segments to rewrite, evidently. So,
all right, you need to work on your reactions. You got to work on the grind. You don't got the grind in you. You need to grind more.
I feel like I grind plenty.
You're grinding.
I grind a lot.
All right, he's gone, man. He's gone. How was that? Was that a good little bit?
Yeah, it went fine.
So what do we need to do to get on those docks?
Grind, he says.
Oh, dude. Watch-alongs. Bring back the reviews at night. And then we're there. We're golden. We're golden.
We don't have to grind. You've been grinding on this show for 10 years nearly.
This is no grind. Come on. This is fun. This is bands.
Remember we used to do 7 episodes a week?
I don't. Did we actually do that?
Yes.
Let me just bring that back.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was a struggle to come up with the other 2 episodes every week.
It's a struggle to come up with 5. I got some ideas, though. I got to run past you.
All right. Another time.
Oh, is that the end of the show?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, dude, we are out of time. Listen, because we've got Enterprise coming up next. I'm trying to figure out what. Give me a number between 1 and
14.
22. 14. Because, yeah, Star Trek Enterprise is coming up next. While Enterprise visits a planet where an interspecies medical exchange conference is taking place, Dr. Phlox tries to obtain research on a terminal disease from the Vulcan contingent there. Season 2 is all Dr. Phlox, apparently. So we got Enterprise